Be nice to turn on my microphone. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? What's going on, chat? How we doing on this Wednesday? Well, I'm thinking it's Tuesday. What are we doing here? Got some Giannis updates. Let me just what the heck? What happened to my stuff? As I wait for more of you to trickle in here. I don't know what the hell happened to my stuff. But what's going on, chat? Let me just undo hide, undo hide, undo move, undo move, undo move. I'll wait for more of you to trickle in here, and then we'll get it going. All right. I don't know what the heck happened to my box, but here we are. We got some Giannis news. What's going on? Nostalgic Salute, Skills TV. What's going on? Salute. Giannis is available. And the New York Knicks are set to make an offer for Giannis Antetokounmpo. The New York Knicks are set to make an offer for him. Let me play the Shams audio, and then we will get it on and popping, and we'll react to it. There we go.
Guys, this has been the
Let me make this bigger. There it is.
Combination of 9 months of conversations. You think about the back and forth that Giannis, his agent Alex Saratzis, and the Bucks have had since May at the draft combine, when he's been exploring what his best fit is. Because like Stephen A. just said, he has made it clear publicly, privately, he wants to compete for a second championship. And so he was able to recommit to this team. Bucks ownership, John Horst, Doc Rivers, they sold Giannis Antetokounmpo this season on winning at a high level, trying to compete for a championship in the Eastern Conference. That obviously right now hasn't happened. This is a Bucks team that is now 12th in the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
They're 9 games under 500.
They stink.
They've obviously nosedived over the last several weeks, and they're positioning for
The Bucks stink right now, and Giannis wants out. The Bucks stink, and Giannis wants out.
Lottery spot this second half of this NBA season. And so Giannis Antetokounmpo is looking around now, and he has made it clear to them in private conversations, as much as he loves Milwaukee, loves the organization, loves the franchise, he is ready to move to a new team potentially at the deadline or in the offseason. And the Bucks as well have had to reevaluate.
All right, so a lot of talk from Shams pretty much saying that he's ready to move to a new team. And then Ian Begley dropped a bomb today, right after that, right after the Shams tweet, saying pretty much that, let me make it bigger for you guys. Sorry, we're good. We're ready. Appreciate you guys hopping in here. Those of you just joining, if you haven't subscribed, please do so already. Giannis Antetokounmpo is available for the taking. Giannis is available. So this is from Shams. He says two-time MVP Giannis is ready for a new home at the February 5th trading deadline or in the offseason, as several rival teams make aggressive offers to the Milwaukee Bucks for him. So it's either he's going to get traded by February 5th or the Milwaukee Bucks, if they wait until the summertime, they can obtain more assets. They can obtain more first-round picks from the Knicks, more swaps. They can obtain, I think, 2 more first-round picks from the Heat. And then Ian Begley responds saying, yes, the Knicks will be among teams making aggressive offers to Milwaukee for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Miami Heat will be there as well. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are. I think it's Miami or New York for Giannis. I do. The Knicks aren't alone anymore. You know, the Miami Heat are lurking. I think Giannis likes Miami. I think he likes obviously he likes, Pat Riley versus the Knicks again. That's funny, man. Pat Riley versus the Knicks. Who gets Giannis? But the real question is, does Giannis demand a trade to the New York Knicks? Because if Giannis demands a trade to the Knicks, then that kind of puts the Bucks in a predicament. Then they can go to the Knicks and say, look, my client Giannis wants to be with you. I want to do right by him. He's done right by our franchise for years. He's won us an NBA championship. We clearly don't want to part with him, but we want to make him happy. Right? We want to make Giannis happy, and he wants to be a New York Knick. And Leon Rose has to decide, does he push all the chips in now? Right? Until February 5th. But, again, if the Knicks wait till the summertime, they have more assets to trade. It's a risk being patient, though. The Miami Heat, let's say, send the Milwaukee Bucks an offer that they can't refuse, which I don't think they have out there. Right? Pat Riley has the culture pitch, the weather, South Beach, but ultimately I think Giannis wants to win, and he sees New York as a winning situation if he gets paired with Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson. I mean, you're talking about a team that could dominate the East for years to come. Right? At least so we think. So this is from Ian Begley. Look, he says the Knicks, and this is like, he tweeted this right away. So that's telling me that he's getting intel. Like, look, Knicks want Giannis. We all know the Knicks want Giannis. Now it's whether or not they wait until the summer or they get it done next week. But anytime you add in the word aggressive, the Knicks will be among teams making aggressive offers for Giannis. That's telling me that the New York Knicks want him. And they see that this starting five is not clicking. Whatever it is, Cat and Jalen Brunson does not work. Whatever it is. Right? So, news is starting to come out here. Let me just go to, once again, appreciate you guys in the chat. All right, here's a tweet that I wanted to get to from Yossi. Let me just zoom into this tweet. This is from Yossi. He says, good follow on X, by the way. He says, the Knicks and Heat seem like natural frontrunners for Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Bucks can extract more from these teams in the offseason. This is what I was just speaking about. The Heat can trade 2 first-round picks now and 4 in the offseason. The Knicks can trade 0 now, but up to 2 in the offseason. That, my friends, is why I think this gets done in the offseason. But, look, if things get toxic, if Giannis is like, I want out now, then that gives the Miami the leg up. If Giannis wants out now, I think the Heat have the leg up on the Knicks. If Giannis waits till the summer, I think the Knicks can get him. I do. I think it'll be extremely hard to get it done now. But this is why the Drew Holiday rumors came about the other day, because I think it'll be surrounded a package regarding that. I mean, multiple teams involved, multiple pieces. You would have Mikal, Cat, possibly Deuce McBride involved in these trades, right? Because if you don't have any first round picks to give, right, just a bunch of seconds, why would they trade with you now? You know, it's beneficial for them to wait to see what position they get in the lottery. I'm talking about the Bucks here, to see, you know, where the Pelicans pick falls, to reevaluate in the summer. But it depends on Giannis. If he's like, no, get me to where I want to get to now, then it expedites everything. It kind of expedites everything. So, look, Leon Rose has a big decision to make. Big decision to make. What does he do? Does he trade with the Bucks now? Does Giannis force his way to the Knicks? Right? If Leon waits, does Miami strike first and then you lose Giannis? If Leon moves too early, he could like overpay in terms of players and gut the depth a little bit. Right? This is the tightrope, man. Ian Begley is saying the Knicks want him. Right? This is not me. I know most of you guys don't like when I come on here and talk about rumors and Giannis is tired of Giannis. A lot of you guys are tired of Giannis. I am just reacting off of the news we are getting today. Right? Once again, appreciate you guys in the chat. I see all of you in the chat. Let's hear what you guys are saying in the chat. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe. Nostalgic, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat. Nostalgic. Speed says, hope all is well. Hope all is well, Speed. Hope all is well. Source says, is Deuce getting traded? I don't believe so, but if the Knicks make a trade in the next week with Giannis, I believe he will be in that package. I do. Singer says, we don't need an injured Giannis. Yeah, that's what's scaring me. The calf injuries right now. The calf injuries are scaring me. The calf injuries do scare me because he's had multiple calf injuries. And I think his price, because of the calf injuries, like he's out 4 to 6 weeks. So whether you trade for him in the next week or so, he's not going to play until another month after that. So I think that kind of brings his price down because the Knicks can go to the Bucks and be like, look, we're scared that eventually his Achilles is going to pop. So, and we don't want that. And I'm sure you don't want that because if that happens, then his value tanks and it's just a mess. So I think Leon Rose has some leverage in that regard. But you have two fan bases, right? One fan base in Miami that are impatient. They've been told that they're getting a star for years and years and years and years after the Heatles left, the LeBron, Wade, Bosh. They've been told they're getting a star for years. They haven't got anyone, right? They made it to the NBA Finals a couple of years ago with Jimmy and all them, but they're hungry for a star in Miami. So I wouldn't put it past Pat Riley to put all his chips in to get Giannis. I wouldn't. And if that's the case, I am not sure the New York Knicks can compete with that. The only way they can compete with that is if Giannis looks at this and is like, Miami's fun, but am I going to win in Miami? Like, you're going to gut your depth. Who am I playing with? In New York, I'm playing with Brunson. I'm in New York. They're right at the cuffs. They just need me to get over the hill. In Miami, it's like Giannis wants to win. If Giannis wants to win, then I think New York is the better situation. Lifestyle-wise, Miami, cool. You got the beach, you got the weather, right? Pat Riley, I think, is going to go all in for Giannis. I do. Because that fan base is starving for a star. But Ian Begley says the Knicks will be among the teams aggressive for him. And let's circle back to the summer when it came out from Shams. Now, a lot of people didn't like the reporting that they thought he was lying, pretty much, Shams. That Giannis said that Shams told the world that Giannis told the Bucks that he wanted to be a Knick. And the Knicks had a 2-week window to get something done. And it later came out that The Knicks later thought that the Bucks weren't serious. The Bucks later thought that the Knicks weren't serious. Okay, well, now it's go time. So if Giannis told the Bucks, I want to be a New York Knick, get it done. He wants to be a Knick. And if you're on the Knicks, if you're on Leon Rose, you're watching the starting five, right? I know they're on a 3-game winning streak. But something with the starters doesn't mesh well, right? Jalen Brunson, Cat. Like Brunson plays better with Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby and Mikal and Hart than he does with Cat on the same floor. And Cat plays better without him as well. This is not just a Cat problem. But if you're looking at that, the fan base is against Cat. Whether you agree with that or not, they want him shipped out of here, right? Do you risk waiting? You didn't extend Cat. You didn't sign it to an extension. Right? Do you pass up on the second best player in the NBA? It's fascinating stuff, man. It's fascinating stuff. Source says Miami in the same situation as Milwaukee. He's doing a James Harden injury. Hey, he revealed himself his diagnosis. He said, I'm going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. He doesn't, maybe he's lying. Maybe he's lying about his calf injury. Maybe he just wants to get out of there. But the time is ticking. He's not getting any younger, right? He's not getting any younger. So, yes, you could wait till the summertime, right? And like I said, going back to this tweet from Yossi, the Knicks can trade 0 first-round picks now, but up to 2 in the offseason. The Heat can trade 2 now and 4 in the offseason. Right? So, let me go back to the Shams tweet. Because in Shams' tweet, he's telling us what Milwaukee wants. Right? Not in this tweet. In another tweet. I think it's in the story, the article. He says Milwaukee wants picks or a young budding superstar. Here it is. He says Milwaukee has indicated to interested teams that the organization is not in a rush to complete a move and is willing to navigate Antetokounmpo's future in the offseason if its believed price point of a blue chip young talent and or a surplus of draft picks isn't met. So they want a surplus of draft picks and or a blue chip young talent. Who's the blue chip young talent that the Knicks have? They don't, like, is Cat considered a blue chip young talent? I would consider Deuce that. I don't consider him a blue chip, but he's a talent. He's having a career year. Again, if the Knicks wait till the summer, they have two more draft picks to trade. So, man, this is the Giannis watch is here. And we just have to wait and see if Leon Rose and the front office pull the trigger. What do you guys want? Do you guys want to trade for Giannis? Do you guys want to keep the current core? Would you guys rather to keep this team past the trading deadline and tinker it a little bit? Or are you packing Karl-Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges' bags and pairing Giannis with Jalen Brunson? Because that intrigues me. And if the Knicks were able to get a Jrue Holiday in the midst of that, you would look at a starting five of Jalen Brunson, Jrue Holiday, OG Anunoby, Giannis, and Mitch. Right? That, my friends, is surrounding Jalen Brunson with multiple defenders and multiple stars. That's a hell of a starting five, but that will be hard to get done. But it's out there. It's out there. It is out there. Appreciate you guys in the chat once again. Nostalgia says Greep was lying about his injury. Ooh, a lot of you guys are saying he's lying about his injury, huh? He's lying about it. I don't think Giannis wants to play with Bam over Brunson. Exactly. I think Giannis wants to play with Brunson. Don't forget, like, Giannis was injured earlier in the year, right? And he came back versus the Knicks. Jrue Holiday as well was injured for a majority of the season. And when the Knicks were in Portland, that was his return. Right? So, coincidence? Could be. But, hey, man. Giannis wants out after he convinced them to trade Holiday for Lillard. What's going on, No Figure? Appreciate you in here. Cat and Mikal need to leave. Plus, his team is tired of Cat from Profits in the chat. David says, if we're making the trade now, that means we can retain the picks we got coming this summer. If there's a way to get this done now, we have to do it. Yeah, if there's a way, if there's a world where the New York Knicks can get this done now, I say you do it. Because, look, this upcoming draft is considered one of the best drafts in a while, deepest drafts in a while. And the Knicks do own their pick in this upcoming draft. I believe now it's like 21, 22. They do own their pick. They own the Washington first-round pick that's top 8 protected that will turn into 2 second-round picks, right? So, I don't know. Do the Bucks like what if the Bucks are sitting there on the phone like, give us OG Anunoby with Karl Anthony Towns? Right? It's kind of like the Minnesota Timberwolves when the Knicks wanted to trade for Karl Anthony Towns. They traded Julius Randle. They didn't want to add Dante in that trade, and then last minute they add Dante in the trade. And I hated it at the time. Adding Dante. So the leverage play on this trade will be fascinating. Like what? Because I would, if you're talking about leverage, who has the leverage? I don't think the Knicks have the leverage right now. I think it's easy to say that, okay, if you're the Knicks, let's wait. Let's wait till the summertime. Let's see what this team is, during the playoffs. Let's run it back. Let's change the coach. Let's see how we fare in this Eastern Conference in the playoffs. Right? And if we don't, make it to the finals, then we can go get Giannis. It's not that easy. Because the Bucks know that. The Bucks know that if you get knocked out, in rounds 2 or the Eastern Conference Finals, that you're going to want to trade for Giannis. And they're going to hold all the leverage. But it comes down to Giannis, in my opinion. Like, if Giannis goes to the Bucks and he's like, I want to be in New York, are the Bucks going to say no and piss off Giannis? I don't think so. He brought them a championship. I don't think anyone wants to be the bad guy in this situation, which makes it so tricky. Like, Giannis doesn't want to be the bad guy. The Bucks don't want to be the bad guy. His agent doesn't want to be the bad guy. So, who wins the battle? Like, does Giannis go to the Bucks and is like, get me to New York? Or does he go to the Bucks and says, get me to New York and Miami? Because if he says that, then the Miami Heat have an edge because they have more picks. I don't know, Tyler Hero. They have Khalil Ware, who's a young talent, right? Like, I don't know if he's a blue chip talent, right? And they have Pat Riley. But other than that, you're pairing Giannis with Bam. What is that gonna do? Like, if you're Giannis and you're looking at that situation, like, why would I be paired with Bam? I don't want that. Source says the Knicks do because Giannis says he wants to be a New York Knick. Paulie says, I agree. The Knicks need to get this trade done now. Salute, Rando. Salute to the chat. Salute to every single one of you guys in the chat. Giannis wants out. The Milwaukee Bucks. Hey, man. What you going to do? What you going to do? See if some more news comes out, some more videos. Once again, appreciate you guys. Knicks have a game tonight, by the way, versus the Toronto Raptors. See, a lot of people don't believe Shams. I'm trying to get some videos, some footage of Shams talking about Giannis. If he wants tax-free money, that's it. Yep, that's it. If he wants to live a lavish life, Miami, South Beach, not really any pressure. Man, where all the videos at? All right. I want to play this one.
So,
I want to play the end. Let's play the end.
Told there's already been several aggressive offers made to the Bucks. You have offers with former All-Star players, with multiple draft picks. That's all stuff that the Bucks are sifting through this week and next week. But over the next now we're 8 days away from the trade deadline. The Bucks have started listening to offers, engaging to an extent. They made it clear to teams what their threshold is as far as blue chip young talent and draft compensation. But this is 9 months in the making, several years in the making for Giannis Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee.
Notice what he said there at the end.
And the Bucks as well have had to reevaluate where they're at, what their direction is moving forward. And so I'm told there's already been several aggressive offers made to the Bucks. You have offers with former All-Star players.
You have offers with former All-Star players. Multiple offers, aggressive offers. Do the Knicks have an offer on the table? Former All-Star. Cat, I don't think is going to make the All-Star team this year. Former All-Star. Is Cat considered a former All-Star? He is. Hawks are also involved in this. The Atlanta Hawks. The Heat are involved in this. The Knicks are involved in this. The Warriors are a team to watch as well that are involved in this. Maybe the Warriors give up like Jimmy Butler and, a package of whatever they have to offer, right? So, but again, this comes down to Giannis. I don't think this is going to be a Luka situation where the Milwaukee Bucks are just going to trade Giannis overnight and just say, deal with it. You don't get to pick. You don't get to pick where you want to go. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think they're going to go to Giannis and he's going to give them a list of teams. And hopefully the Knicks, because if the Knicks are team number one, if Giannis says just get me to the New York Knicks, do the Bucks trade him for 75 cents on the dollar? Because they don't want to do him wrong. I think they might. And I think that's where the Knicks have the leverage. That right there. That's the most important thing. If Giannis says, get me to the Knicks. Now, let's say the New York Knicks make this trade, right? Hypothetically. Let's say the New York Knicks make this trade. Boy, that is a shakeup. That is a shakeup in the middle of the season. Right? That is a massive shakeup. Because you're pairing Giannis. Now, let's say Cat goes. You have, I don't know if they do the trade with Portland, let's say they do. Let's say Mikal goes and you have Jrue Holiday. I'm just hypothetically spitballing here, but then you would have, Brunson, Holiday waiting for Giannis. OG, again, is the wild card. Who wants OG? Do the Knicks part with OG? I don't know. The Mitchell Robinson, I'm definitely not trading him. I'm definitely not. But then again, Giannis fares well with a big man that can shoot, which is why the Milwaukee Bucks got Miles Turner. So I don't even know if Giannis and Mitch would work. Or would Mitch still continue to come off the bench and you would still have Hart? But either way, look at it like this. If you make the trade, are you closer to an NBA championship than you are today with Giannis? Looking at the East? I would say yeah. If you don't make the trade, you've seen how this starting five is. Hot and cold, inconsistent. You're kind of hoping them to turn it on in the playoffs and hoping them to be a dominant team, which they have. They've turned it on in the playoffs. This is what makes this so fascinating because I just don't know what Leon Rose does. Like, I think if the price is 75 cents on the dollar, I think you have to do it. I think you have to do it because it just feels nasty turning down like a top 2 talent in the NBA and pairing him with Jalen Brunson, right? It feels nasty saying that. Like, it's one thing if we're talking about like a star, but we're talking about Giannis, bro. We're talking about Giannis. He's won an NBA championship. If you pair him with Brunson and Holiday and OG and Mitch, that's a hell of a starting lineup. It's a big change mid-season, but the Knicks quickly move up to the top as a favorite in the Eastern Conference, right? And the thing is, people think they're the favorite now, which makes this conversation so fascinating. Because if the season ended today, if the Knicks and the Pistons face each other in the playoffs, Pistons are good this year, but experience-wise, I'll still pick the Knicks. And it's like, who are you going through in the East to get to the NBA Finals, right? But if you lose and you get bounced, then people are going to say you should have made the Giannis deal if he got traded already, right? So, man, oh man. I believe in Leon for the past 5 years. This will make or break his GM career. I don't know about make or break, but I understand what you're saying because it's a pressure-packed decision. Like, if you wait and Miami strikes, I don't look at the Heat as a threat. That's the thing, right? That's another way to look at it. Like, if the Miami Heat get Giannis, do you now look at the Heat as a threat? With Giannis and Bam and their young talent, whoever they don't trade for him? I don't. I would still think the Knicks are better than the Miami Heat if they got Giannis. So maybe they're like, hey, you can go to Miami. We still think the Knicks are better. We still think we're better than them. But are you better than the Pistons right now? No. Right now, no, you're not. Right now. I'm talking January 28th. Right now, no, you're not. Right? Pistons are playing way better. They're tough. They're physical. They're one of the best defenses in the NBA. They're a really up-and-coming team. They don't have experience. They have experience in the playoffs, but we don't know how it's going to look for the second year. Right? So, man, it's fascinating. You kind of just want him to go out west. If the Knicks don't get this done, you kind of want him to go out west. Right? Because if he's on the Hawks, for instance, like if the Hawks are involved in Giannis and they trade Jalen Johnson, who's a blue chip talent, that's a blue chip talent. and they trade their picks, are you now looking at the Hawks as a threat? I'm not. Yeah, they have Giannis, but I'm not. But this is the golden opportunity for Leon Rose to pair one of the best players in the NBA, if not the best player in the NBA, depending on who you ask. Again, he's hurt right now. With a dog in the playoffs that just has fallen short for the last few years. And we just can't get over the hump. Do you take that risk in April again? Because if you don't make it out of the Eastern Conference Finals again, this is what they're talking about. This is what everyone's talking about in the front office. Like, I'm sure you have people in that front office saying, get him. We got Cat to be a bridge to Giannis. Karl-Anthony Towns was the bridge to Giannis. Right? Mikal Bridges, 5 first-round picks. He was part of the Giannis deal. So we traded 5 first-round picks, but we look at that like, yeah, some of those were to get Giannis. Because if the end game is Giannis with Brunson and let's say Anunoby and what's rumored to be out there, Drew Holiday, which again, he's on the back end of 30. It's risky, but he's a hell of a point of attack defender, one of the best in the NBA. He still can play. He still can shoot. Injuries are a little bit concerning, but your team does get older if you go with Giannis and Drew. But your chances of winning an NBA championship go up significantly, in my opinion. Because not only are we talking about getting out the East, you have to also beat a Western Conference team. Right? It's fascinating stuff. Once again, appreciate you guys in the chat. If you haven't also already, please hit the like button. 107, 18 likes. Let's get them likes up, ladies and gentlemen. 25. Let's get to 25 likes. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Would really appreciate the subs. Would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support, as always. The Giannis news, I thought to come on here and give you guys this information. Let's see if anything else has come out. The Warriors have made it known to the Bucks that they are willing to offer a Jonathan Kuminga, Jimmy Butler headline package with draft picks for Giannis. That's the former All-Star, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, Kuminga with draft picks for Giannis. Okay, now you pair Giannis with Steph, then you're talking. Then you are starting to talk. That's the competition we're talking about. There's multiple teams that want this man. Multiple teams that want him. Brunson, Drew, OG, Giannis, and Mitch. That's a hell of a starting lineup, man. It is. That's a hell of a starting lineup. You surround Jalen Brunson with defenders. Rim protectors. Right? El Figgy says, I'm not gutting our team. Deuce, OG are off the table. If we can keep them, then maybe. Yeah. Obviously, right? If we can keep Deuce and OG, and if we can work around a package of Cat and Mikal, and I don't know, maybe they think highly of Diawara or one of our young guys off the bench, which honestly, let's be frank, don't really hold any value right now. Cat has value. He's an all-NBA player. He's an all-star. He has value. Let's not make it seem like he's a bum. He's not at all. He's not a bum. Right? But I don't know if the Milwaukee Bucks view Karl-Anthony Towns as a player they can build around. Will he sell tickets in Milwaukee? I don't know. Which is why I think the Deuce aspect comes into it. Because remember, the Timberwolves did not want to do the deal unless the New York Knicks included Dante in the deal. They did not want to do it. And then last minute, Leon Rose said, F it. Trade Dante. And it all hurt us. And I hope I don't feel the same way when Deuce McBride is part of a package. But if you're talking about a young, controllable talent with intrigue and that's having a career year, it's Deuce, right? Do you let Deuce McBride stop you from getting Giannis? I don't know. As I'm talking through with you guys, I mean, I like, do you let Deuce McBride stop you from getting Giannis another year of controllable stuff? I don't know. I don't know. LB says Cat wouldn't even stay on Milwaukee. He'll be gone in the summer because it's free agency. Yeah, it'll probably be like a 4-team trade. Who says the Milwaukee Bucks even keep Cat, right? Source says, no, my Deuce, our homegrown talent. Where's my Deuce drop? LB so wavy says Jimmy Butler just tore his ACL. Milwaukee would be a moron to do that trade because they can't even flip Jimmy in the summer. Yeah, but I think he just signed an extension. Rumored to be back in the beginning of the season. When Butler comes back, he does have value. You know, he's Jimmy Butler. You're getting Kuminga, but Kuminga really hasn't played for them. They're going to have to put together a package, like a package of picks for that to be intriguing. Yeah, I know Butler's out, but they're using Butler salary to make it work. That's why Jimmy Butler's been rumored in trades, because it's a good salary filler to make the Warriors better right now. Because if you're the Warriors, you just lost Jimmy Butler and your chances to win an NBA championship decrease drastically. So are you going to waste another year of Steph, or are you going to use that salary to go out and get a Giannis, right? Because if you're in Golden State right now, I'm sure all the fans are like, give me Giannis, trade Jimmy Butler. But if you're just joining, the news is Giannis Antetokounmpo is available, whether that's in a week or whether that's this summer. When it gets done is up in the air, right? I think this is more of a summer thing, but this is going, like, this news just came out today. In the next week, because the trading deadline is next Thursday, February 5th, it's Giannis watch. Things are going to stall out until Giannis is traded or not. Right? Trying to update the timeline to see if we have any more videos that have come out regarding Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't think so. See if Shams has spoken more. But guys, right away when this news came out, Ian Begley said, look, Knicks are going to be aggressive for this dude, man. Don't think that the Knicks are going to sit on their hands. And Ian Begley is as close as they come to the New York Knicks, right? Ian Begley. That's the great Ian Begley. He says yes. Now, you know, he's playing no games. He said yes, comma. Don't think for a second that the Knicks won't be interested in making an aggressive offer for Giannis. So that's telling you that they want him. And I want him too. I want him too. I don't know, man. Pairing I think he's the best player in the NBA when healthy. Pairing him with Jalen Brunson, and if you keep OG Anunoby, and if you somehow get the Holiday deal done, but if you don't, so be it. You put Mitch in the lineup, although I don't know if I like the Mitchell Robinson Giannis pairing, but you automatically come into a series with two of the most feared players in the NBA in the playoffs. And if you're not a Knicks fan in the chat and you're saying Jalen Brunson feared in the playoffs, yes, taking souls in the playoffs, in the postseason. Playoff performer, right? Last game versus Indiana was rough. They had him in jail. Shackles. They did. But if you have Giannis coming down the court, guys, I mean, how could you not want him? Like, the argument to not want him is just the whole gutting your roster. But I don't think you're gutting your roster, really. Like, if it's just Cat and Mikal, great. I'm doing it. Like, I'm doing it. If it's Cat, Mikal, Deuce, I'm still leaning towards 60-40 doing it. But that will have the Dante effect on me. Because Deuce McBride has been, in terms of net rating, like one of our best players this year. But I don't know if I can stop myself from getting Giannis than trading Deuce. From not trading Deuce. I don't know if I can do that. Jesse, what's going on? Says if he's available, we have to make the deal. El Figgy says it's a gamble. It is a gamble. It is a gamble. You know, because if you make the trade and, you know, he's not fully healthy, the calf is still barking and this or that, then that's the gamble you take. But if you look at this roster, you look at Karl-Anthony Towns not playing down the stretch 2 games in a row, and the Knicks that look better. Right? The Knicks have looked better with Cat on the bench and Brunson playing with like Mitch and OG and all them. Cat and Brunson, the pick and roll stuff is just the offense, the starting 5. It was great in the beginning of the season when we put Josh Hart back in there, but I don't know if it's going to win us an NBA championship because anytime you're benching your second, but not benching. Like I got a lot of pushback on me saying benching Karl-Anthony Towns yesterday. He did have a good fourth quarter. He did, you know, try to ignite the crowd. First game versus Philly was more of like he was in foul trouble. That's why the Knicks couldn't play him down the stretch. Yesterday, Mike Brown could have subbed him back in. He didn't. He didn't sub him back in. So essentially, that's a benching. But you saw the Knicks look without him. So, it's a gamble. Classic says it's a gamble, but Cat could be a no-show in the playoffs. He could be a no-show, but then he could be a show. Classics. That's the thing about Cat. That's the thing about most of these players on this Knicks team. The inconsistencies. OG Anunoby can be one of the best players in the NBA one night. The next night, where's OG Anunoby? Dribbling the ball off his foot, alligator arms, turnovers, 7 turnovers. Mikal too. It's like, what version of these guys do you get to get night in, night out? They're not consistent. If I'm getting Giannis, I know I'm getting 30, 10, and 5 every night. Every night. I am getting 30, 10, and 5. Put it down, mark it down, and like, jot it down. Maybe possibly triple doubles with Brunson. Right? I just think the Knicks have too many guys that are inconsistent. That's what it is. They're talented, but that's what brings in the egos. Because I don't think they really like each other. I don't think OG likes some guys. I don't think Cat likes some guys. I don't think Hart likes Cat. You don't have to necessarily like someone to win a championship either, but I know what I'm getting with Giannis. I know what I'm getting from Jalen Brunson in the playoffs. I know. With Cat, he can look like one of the best big men one night, and the next night he's being benched in the fourth quarter. Right? Happened in the Indiana series. Game 1, Cat had like 35 and 12. Game 2, Tom Thibodeau didn't go to him in the end of the fourth. He subbed him back in, but he didn't go to him. He benched him in game 2. Game 3, Cat won us the game. And we would have been down 3-0-3 if it wasn't for Cat for game 3. But that's what I'm talking about. It's the inconsistencies. And I think that is where I struggle with this, because I know what I'm getting from Giannis. You know what you're going to get. Source says the Giannis roommates pod going to hit different. Probably the most viewed pod of all time. Oh, man. Once again, shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys in the chat. I take the gamble instead of keeping Cat and getting knocked out of the second round, and Giannis goes to the Heat. Yeah. That's the thing with, like, if Giannis goes to the Heat, I'm not afraid of the Heat. Like, I'm not. I still do think the Knicks are top 2 in the East. I do. Right? Like, a dark horse in all this could be Cleveland. What if Cleveland trades for Giannis? What if they trade like a Evan Mobley for Giannis? Evan Mobley, a Garland. Mobley, Garland, and I don't know how many picks they have. But then you're talking about, okay, if you're Milwaukee, you got to look at that, because Mobley is a player. That's a talent. Now, Evan Mobley in the playoffs, right? Karl-Anthony Towns has a better resume in the playoffs than Evan Mobley. So, that's a dark horse. I'm gambling. I'm a gambling man in a good one. We make the trade. We're not going to be wrong with this one. If Giannis wants to retire in peace and take care of his last big contract, he'll go to Miami. If he wants to compete at a high level and is willing to pay New York taxes, he'll come to the Knicks. Giannis is not trying to live in Cleveland. Bruh. I don't think so, but if Giannis is about winning, like, Giannis has been in Milwaukee his whole life. What's Cleveland to him? If he gets pitched the idea with winning and they trade a couple of their pieces, Garland plus something else, I don't know their pick package. I would have to find that out. But then you're talking about Donovan Mitchell, Giannis. Then you're talking about, okay, that's a team that you got to get through. If he goes to Miami, I'm not scared of Miami. Cleveland could be a dark horse in this. Because if you're talking about blue chip talent, Evan Mobley, I don't even think they'll part with it. I don't even think, like, if I was to ask a Cavs fan, like, would you trade Evan Mobley for Giannis? I would say 80% of them would say no. Right? So, we'll see. Once again, appreciate you guys in the chat. Let me update the timeline on the side to make sure we haven't missed anything, any updated information coming from the chat. Man. TMZ just popped up on my timeline and says Ray J doctors say that he has months to live. I know that's not sports related, but man, that is sad. Praise to Ray J and the family. Mitchell Robinson is out tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We kind of knew that yesterday when Mitchell Robinson said, trust the process. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I kind of knew that one. Right when he said that, he was going to be out. So this thing, man, it like, and Evan Mobley just sustained a calf injury. Speaking of Evan Mobley. So I don't think that's on the table for them. But I think the Milwaukee Bucks would want their picks back, right? And they traded their picks to Portland for Dame, right? That's where I think the three-way between the Milwaukee Bucks, the New York Knicks, and the Portland Trail Blazers could work. Because if Portland values Mikal highly, that's a starting point. then we got something. Because if Milwaukee looks at the picks that they own and they want to truly rebuild, and Portland owns the rights to them, the swaps, then the Milwaukee Bucks can look at this and be like, look, we value those picks more than X player. So, getting more information here. The Heat, Warriors, and Raptors are among several franchises that have been pushing hard for Antetokounmpo trade before the deadline, multiple league sources. There are developing trades involving these teams, as well as the New York Knicks, that could be impacted by Giannis' decision. Giannis is coming. Salute, Paulie. What's going on, Paulie, in the chat? Salute to every single one of you guys in the chat. Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. Once again, tuning on this Wednesday afternoon, whether you're in lunchtime, home, relaxing. Thanks for tuning in and spending some time with me. CO says tonight is the L with no Mitch. Cat will be a no-show because of this news. Yo, Karl-Anthony Towns in Milwaukee. Remember the first game we played in Milwaukee when he was an absolute no-show? And the game in New York where Giannis came back, and I think Giannis had a triple-double in that game, and Cat was like, I forgot what he put up, but it wasn't really like impactful. I think he had a good fourth quarter in that game. But he don't want to be in Milwaukee, man. He wants to win in New York. He wants to win here. And but I think all along this was Leon Rose's master plan. If this was Leon Rose's master plan, the end game, the final chapter of his book, obtaining Giannis and pairing him with Jalen Brunson and OG and Mitch. How could you not love that? Right? How could you not love that? You walk into a series feared. Feared. I have the best offensive rebounder in the league. I have one of the best lob threats in the league, even though the Knicks don't really use him a lot. Free throw shooting needs work. I have a hustle guy, whether I start him or not, in Josh Hart, who does the dirty stuff. I still got Shamit. I got one of the lethalest killers in the NBA in the playoffs in Jalen Brunson, who has a resume. I got Giannis, who just won an NBA championship. And don't forget, they came back in that series. They were down 0-2. They came back. And then I got, like, if the Drew Holiday thing comes about, I got Drew. I think it's a kind of a fantasy, the Drew Holiday thing. But then I think Chris Haynes also said that the Knicks had interest in Drew Holiday. So it wasn't only Mark Stein. It was also Chris Haynes. And you're telling me that I'm not one of the best teams in the league at that point? Forget the East. Forget the East. For real, CEO says we have no picks to give. What's going on, for real? Yeah, that's why I brought up this tweet from Yossi. He says the Knicks. Let me just zoom in on this. He says the Knicks and Heat seem like a natural frontrunners. He says the Knicks can trade 0 first-round picks now, but up to 2 in the offseason. The Heat can trade 2 first-round picks now and 4 in the offseason. So they would double their picks. But again, I think this comes down to Giannis. What does Giannis want? Right? If you involve, like Attach says, 4 to 5 teams, that's where I think this is a summer thing. What's going on, Dis Rover? Dis Rover says, old man Drew, him and Giannis, we have no spacing at that point. This rover, what does this number say? I know it's kind of a one-off. It's kind of an outlier in Giannis's career. What does this number say, this rover? 2025 Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis is shooting 39% from 3 this year. No, he's not a great three-point shooter. He's not. But he's shooting 39% from 3 this year. That's better than Cat. You know, he doesn't really attempt that much. But you can't stop him in the paint. You can't stop him. Best all time. Go get me a shooter. Sham it. Go sign me a shooter, man. At that point, we'll have no money. Go sign me a shooter off the street. So, man, oh man, Say Quizzy is in the building. What's going on, Say Quizzy? He says, get me Giannis. We need some dogs on this team. We have a good team, but not good enough to win it all. With Cat and Mikal playing like this. What's going on, Say Quizzy? We need some dogs, man. Man, it's a fascinating decision. What do the Knicks do? What do they do? I don't know. Was last year's playoff ride, it was a magic carpet ride, it was. But if you want to be kind of like pessimistic about the whole thing, it took 2 comebacks versus Boston. Granted, you still beat them, right? In the first couple of games, they had you down. And then you get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and you should have won game 1, which could have changed the series around, and you didn't. And you lose that game, and then you lose game 2, and it's like, man, it's over. I just don't know which Knicks team shows up with this current unit. I don't. And I don't think that they can turn it around in terms of like all of a sudden coming together. I don't think they can turn it around in terms of when they reach the playoffs, they can hit a gear, right? And this goes back to the Detroit series. Every series was fascinating for this Knicks team. The Detroit series, game 1, campaign show. Who would have thought? Campaign show. The Knicks needed some luck. And sometimes you need luck to win an NBA championship. Don't get me wrong. But the Knicks needed some luck to advance in both of those series, the Pistons and the Celtics. Josh Hart, no call, foul in the corner. They didn't call it the foul. But I just don't know if we can replicate that luck is what I'm saying. Right? How many times can you test that? Steve says you can at least count on Mikal not to miss games. You know. I don't know if that meant for a but Reddy says nobody's talking about the Spurs for Giannis. Yeah. If he's going to go anywhere, send him out west. Right, send him out west. If he's going to go anywhere. Even if he goes to Miami, I don't think they're a threat. I don't. But we'll see. According to Ian Begley, the Knicks are going to be making an offer for Giannis. So the Brooklyn Nets are teams to watch for Giannis. Chris Haynes. Why would he want to go to Brooklyn? Brooklyn and Atlanta are 2 teams to watch for Giannis. Again, if he goes to Brooklyn, okay, they're not going to win. If he goes to Atlanta, okay, they're not an NBA championship team. He wants to win. He just doesn't want a change of scenery. He might as well stay in Milwaukee. If he wants to win, the New York Knicks are his best option to win an NBA championship. And winning one in New York, right? Winning one in New York, he'll be a god. Him and Brunson. Trying to see if we have any more Giannis news. Any more Giannis news? I know James Edwards was kind of poo-poo in the trade, Knicks reporter. Oh, Miles McBride is out tonight. That news just came out. I thought somebody said it in the chat earlier, but I didn't think too much of it. So Miles McBride is out. Josh Hart is questionable. And Mitchell Robinson's out tonight. They're being cautious with McBride, I guess. Unless this is a new injury. All right, this was the tweet. He says, me and Eric talked last week about how a direct New York-Milwaukee trade still makes no sense unless Milwaukee just wants to be a 7, 8, 9, 10 seed for the next few years, which would make no sense. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to do. We'll see how they can get it done. But I think that when it's all said and done, if I were to put a percentage on it, I would say it's a 75% chance that Giannis is a New York Knick. 75% chance. Because I think the Knicks want him. I think Giannis wants the Knicks. And I don't think if you're Leon Rose, you can have on your resume that you passed up on Giannis Antetokounmpo just to get, God forbid, I'm just saying hypothetical, just to get bounced in the playoffs. And we know you passed up on Giannis. Now, whether that's fair or not, that's to be judged. But he wants New York, man. He wants New York. Giannis was seen around this summer. Don't forget, he was seen around this summer walking around the city. Right? He loves New York. Spurs are 21st in the league financially. They have young talent, and Spurs own first 2026, 2028, 2030. Yep. Spurs, if they want to jump in there, Giannis and Victor will be a hell of a duo tandem. It will be. If they want to jump in there. The Thunder could even jump in there, believe it or not. Well, why would you touch that team if you just won an NBA championship? So, yeah, the Nets. The Nets won Giannis. Okay. I'm scared of that. What are they going to get for Giannis? What are they going to give him? What are they going to get for Giannis? Michael Porter? Come on, man. Not even a team. Not even a team. Once again, appreciate you guys in the chat. Hit the comments, man. Hit the comments. Dolan will fire Leon quick if we get bounced. That's another thing. Dolan said just last month that he doesn't expect any major changes, but things turn quick in the NBA. And he said that Leon Rose has the right to overrule him. So if Leon Rose wants to get this done and James Dolan doesn't want to get this done, which I find it hard to believe, I think this gets done. But if Leon Rose doesn't want to get this done and wants to see this thing through and wants to be patient with this group and keep the rest of our draft capital and not deplete everything, because yeah, we have some stuff, but if you're getting Giannis, you have no stuff. But if you win an NBA championship, who cares? Who cares? I don't. Like, you'll be a favorite for the next few years. You'll be a threat. And you also have to look at this, like, Jason Tatum may be coming back soon. The Celtics have been playing well. The Pistons have beat us. So what is Tatum's injury? Like, Halliburton coming back next year for the Pacers, and they get a top 5 pick in a loaded NBA draft class. They're resetting. So if it's year 2 and you're still questioning this group and you haven't really taken stranglehold of the East, it's one thing if the New York Knicks were like, hey, let's go to their record. It's one thing if the New York Knicks were like, let's say, I don't know, 40-6, dominating the East, nobody can touch them. Then you're like, okay, like, there's no way we're trading for Giannis. Why would you touch this? But it's another when you're 10 games over 500 and you're still like, I don't know about this team. I don't know. One night they're good. Another night they're arguing with each other. Another night Josh Hart's telling Cat to get your ass up. I don't know about this team. I don't know about this starting lineup. I don't know, man. If I were to put myself in Leon Rose's shoes, I'm trying everything to get this done. I am. That's just my opinion. Just my opinion. Obviously, I want to be cautious. OG, I'm keeping, right? I'm keeping OG Anunoby. I'm keeping at least one of the wing guys, right? I'm keeping at least one of them. Deuce McBride will be the player in which I would try anything and everything possible to keep, which I would think would be extremely hard. Like, if you were to get this done in the next week, I think McBride is involved. But if I'm Leon Rose, I'm getting it done. I am. I am not turning down Giannis. I know he's dealing with calf injuries and calf strains, and that will scare me. That will. It will scare me. It does scare me. But, yeah, they're a few losses away from being in a play-in. Right? They're 3.5 games ahead of the Heat. You don't know what you're going to get with this Knicks team. You don't. And the thing with Giannis, you know. Like, okay, again, jot down 30, 10, and 10. Jot it down. The gravity that Giannis has. And when you have him and Brunson in a playoff series, because that's what we're talking about, winning your championship, who cares about the regular season? At this point, Knicks are good. We're going to finish top 3. It's all about what matters in the playoffs. Right? I just don't want to regret this. I don't. Tony says Sadiq Bey and Drew Holiday to just bring them 2 here and we'll be fine. We would have to give up Mikal. Would you be willing to do that? Isaiah says, get it done, man. Sorry, I don't want any other team to get him. Yeah. El Figure says, I want Giannis's medical records made public before I can make a judgment. Yeah. I want to know what's going on with those calves. I want to know what's going on with those injuries. I do. I don't want to trade for a broken down car. Right? I don't want to trade for that. It's scary, though. Those calves, man, are scary. But maybe Giannis is like, wink, wink, I'll be back. If you trade for me, I'll be back in like 2 days. Wink, wink. Isaiah says, you get it done, and I'm glad you agree. I feel Giannis was getting hurt because he had too much workload on him. I feel like he less likely would be injured if he is with us. Yeah. I don't know about that, Isaiah, if he is with us, but calves scare me. They do. And for Giannis, especially when he's constantly going downhill, hurting those calves, this has been happening for years for him. And that scares me, man. We need a Giannis Carfax. We know the Carfax. Like, we know the Carfax, but I would like our medical people to look into him. Like, I'm sure if the Knicks trade for him, he's not playing back-to-backs. He's limited in what he can do. In terms of minutes wise, I'm sure they'll be extra cautious like they are with Mitch. But we'll see. Saquid says we would trust JB and Giannis in big moments, but we don't trust Cat in big moments. Yeah, look. That's exactly what I said. This Knicks team is too inconsistent for me to put my trust in them like I want to, because this team, especially last year, man, we fell in love with this team. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals. Game 1 up until 4 minutes in the fourth quarter felt like a dream. Right? Like, oh my God. We're going to the fucking finals. That's how we felt, right? Game 1. Cat screaming to the crowd. Indiana calls timeout. I'm like, oh my God. This is it. And then it wasn't, right? And then it all got taken away from us. And you're sitting there and like, man, the Pacers again knock us out. Again. Going back to the Melo days, man. Hibbert block. That's in my head, man. Roy Hibbert block on Melo. Never forget that. Never. And then that happens again last year. Can't escape the Pacers. Pacers are not in the way this year. Thank God. But I think you gotta trade for Giannis, man. You gotta get this done. Giannis and Jalen Brunson in the city in New York. I mean, the jerseys will be flying off the shelves. The gear, the ticket prices. You think the ticket prices are expensive now, ladies and gentlemen? If the New York Knicks got Giannis, it'll be $500 minimum to get in that building. Minimum. Minimum. Brunson, Giannis. That's Broadway. That's a show. That's a show. And the thing about that is you get Giannis and Jalen Brunson is no longer your best player on your team. That feels weird to say, but it's Giannis. Giannis is the best player on your team. It's not Brunson. He doesn't need to be the man, even though he is the man. It's Giannis. He's the best. He will automatically be the best player on your team. Let's not talk about game 1. I have nightmares yet. El Figure says we're hanging all of our championship hopes on Mitch, Giannis, and OG, and a so-so bench. It's scary. That's a gamble on injury-prone guys. Yeah, man. It's a gamble. It is. But man, if this team faced Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Finals right now, would you pick the Knicks? Like like getting past the Eastern Conference Finals is cool, but now it's like, okay, how can we win a championship? The owner expects us to be in the finals this year. Now it's like, okay, how can we win the championship? Because if the Knicks get to the Eastern Conference Finals again and fall short, you're going to have a lot of people, fans, say that, again, that's a failure. Which I don't believe. But you're going to have a lot of people saying that. I want to win. We haven't won since 73, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long time. And when you're questioning this current group on if this current group can win an NBA championship, that tells me that something needs to be done. All right, new report. Giannis prefers to go to the Knicks, Heat, or Raptors, per Dallas Hoops Journal. Knicks, Heat, or Raptors. So if those three teams are in the mix, who gets it done? Heat have more to trade. Raptors have some to trade as well. Knicks out of those teams have the least amount of trade. But again, if Giannis goes to the Heat, it's him and Bam. Okay. I'll move on. Like, I wouldn't even be fazed. I wouldn't. Even with this Knicks roster, I still do think the Knicks are better. Man, fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff. Brunson, OG, Giannis would be crazy. Hey, man, I'm telling you. This way you can surround Jalen Brunson with 4 defenders. Like, surrounding Brunson with Cat offensively, if it's not going to be great, and it hasn't been great, if your offense isn't number 1 in the league with Brunson and Cat, and you can live with the defense, then okay. But if your offense is up in the air, you don't know what you're going to get from Cat, foul trouble every night, and it just seems like he's disengaged. Like, everything he does now, I'm just like, ugh. And I hate to feel that way, but I just feel like I'm getting annoyed. But if you surround Jalen Brunson, because that's the guy, man. Brunson's the guy. If you surround Brunson with 4 defenders, right? 4. And Giannis being the best player on your team, being the best, right? The best. I can live with that. I can. So. LB So Wavy says Miami has more to offer, but the team would be depleted with New York. It's a multi-team trade. 80% of our roster will still be there. Exactly. And if you're Giannis, you're looking at that like, okay, Miami has more to offer, but am I coming to the Heat? Who am I coming to play with? It's going to be me, Bam, Jaquez. Okay. I'm not winning a ring with that. I'm not. If you go to New York, you're winning you could win a ring with Brunson, Hart, Anunoby, Mitch. Like, okay, that's I could work with that. I can. If you're going to Atlanta, like, just okay, stay in Milwaukee. The Nets, if you want to be the guy, if he wants to be the guy and winning doesn't matter, and he wants to be still in New York, although he'll be the baby brother, right? He'll never have to put, the Knicks jersey on. He'll have to put the Brooklyn Nets jersey on. Okay, you're in New York. Cool. If that's what he wants. But I think he wants to win, which is why it brings me to 2 teams. I think Golden State is a team to watch. And I think the Knicks. I do. I don't think he goes to Atlanta. Miami, maybe, because the Pat Riley intrigues him, and the Miami Heat, South Beach, maybe. But I don't think if he wants to win, Miami's an option. Cleveland is a dark horse, in my opinion, as well. Right? So, Giannis, man. Giannis. Yeah. Miami is tax-free. Depends on if he wants to bag more. Yep. And he's due for extension. That could be done in the summer. Right? So if you're just joining, Giannis is available. And Ian Begley, a respected New York Knicks reporter, I respect him. Right after the news broke, he said, listen, I'm not going to play no games here. I'm not going to check with my guys. I'm not going to check with my source. But yes, the Knicks will be among the teams making aggressive offers to Milwaukee for Giannis, as they should be. They need to get it done. Then he says, yeah, the Heat will be there as well. Get it done. Oh, Giannis in New York. Giannis. Guys, you think Cat woke up from his nap today? He's probably waking up from his nap now, right? The guys are probably waking up from their nap. And they think they opened up their phone and they saw this. You think Cat's going to have a big game tonight? No Deuce, no Mitch. It'll be so Knicks if we come out tonight looking like guns a blazing. 140 to 110. We win in dominant fashion. Which I want, by the way. 4 in a row. Let's make it 4 in a row. Hey, now. The Raptors are on our butt. They're on our butt. Guys, if we lose tonight, don't think this is going to get any quieter if we lose tonight. Because it's a possibility. I mean, what's the... Pretty sure the Knicks are favored tonight, by the way. Even though I don't really look at the Vegas stuff. $7.30. Toronto, 1.5. Oof. Toronto favored by 1.5 tonight. No Deuce, no Cat. Yeah. Brunson and Cat, man. There it is. Get it done. That's the thing, man. It's like you got Brunson, Cat, and an Obi Mikel, and you're still not favored on the road against the Raptors, bro. And not that I don't really look at that. I'm just saying, like, Vegas doesn't know. Like, what team is gonna show up? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks win in dominant fashion or if the Knicks lose tonight. I wouldn't. That's the thing that's frustrating with this group. It is. I just don't know. I think they're going to win. I think they are. I think they're going to win tonight. I think they're going to, push their winning streak to 4 games and let's go. Watch Cat try to drop 40 and foul out. Yeah, man. The Brooklyn rumor, like, who does the Brooklyn Nets have to trade for Giannis? Like, honestly, who do you have to trade? And why would Giannis want to play there? If Giannis wants to be in New York and that's the only way to be in New York is to go to Brooklyn, okay. I guess you can kind of sell that as Giannis is in New York with Brunson and they're on opposite teams like they try to sell with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. But it didn't matter. The Knicks were still the dominant team. Like, they're their baby brother of New York. Like, I don't think he goes to Brooklyn. I don't. I think Heat, Knicks, Golden State. That's my trio. Heat, Knicks, Golden State. I can't see a world with him going to Atlanta. Maybe. But we just have to wait and see. I'm sure the Knicks are on the phones. Putting together some trade packages to make it sweet, make it look good. Talking your players up. Talking Cat up. Right? Mikel. And let's not forget, Mikal Bridges, February 1st. What's the date? January 28th. Mikal Bridges on February 1st becomes trade eligible. That's Sunday, right? Sunday, if I got my days right. That's Sunday, right? Yeah. February 1st, Sunday. That's when Mikal Bridges can be traded. 5 days before the trade deadline. Mikal played good last night. He did. But this is going to be interesting to watch, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see if there's any more news that came out regarding the Giannis situation. Once again, fascinating development. Okay, now we have Bam and Giannis have discussed playing together in Miami. Okay. I mean, like, guys, if Giannis went to Miami, I'm not moved. I'm not. That's just like a power play, like a. I don't think there'll be a contender. I don't. Miami, great place to live. No taxes. You'll get the most out of your buck. You could live on a nice house on the ocean. Don't have to deal with cold. Right? Pat Riley, this or that. People think Pat Riley's overrated now. But they're itching for a star. They want a star. The Miami Heat fans want a star. And I think they put their chips in the Giannis bag. But again, I think it comes down to Giannis. I think if I need Jalen Brunson to kind of, you know how they used to poke on Facebook? Kind of send Giannis like a reaction to one of their prior texts, like a thumbs up. Kind of give him a little nudge. Like, hey, man, you know what to do. You know what to do. Mr. EBK came here straight after the news. Appreciate you, EBK. Appreciate you rocking with me on this Wednesday afternoon. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Subscribe, like. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Giannis, trade rumors. I love this time of year. El Fiki says, Deuce not playing tonight seems ominous. Yeah, look. He didn't get hurt. Right? He didn't get hurt. Played yesterday. Maybe they're being cautious with him and Mitch. I don't know. But he's young. I would think he would play. Anything came out? Like, did anything came out yesterday regarding Deuce? Daddy A's in the G League. Jameson is out. McBride, illness. Left ankle management. So they're managing his left ankle. They're managing it. But why wouldn't you manage Josh Hart's ankle too? Because Josh Hart was just out a while. So they're calling it left ankle management. This is the official injury report that the teams have to release. Left ankle management. Robinson, left ankle injury management. Josh Hart, right ankle soreness. So, yeah, it's a little. Didn't he play in a back-to-back a week ago? He had to hurt something, man. We got the Brian Windhorse. Now, why would they do that? Oh, man. Deuce traded. What's the Knicks offer? I'm going to tell you guys what an offer would look like, right? Trade machine, NBA. Whoa, advanced trade machine. I didn't want that. Yeah, exactly. They could have sat at least Mitch or Deuce if one of them was going to be out for the Kings game. Like, we didn't need both of them. El Figi, I'd be more concerned if Giannis went to the Magic. Yeah. Magic, like if he goes to the Heat, okay. Him and Bam, I don't see anything coming from that. Magic, you can talk me into it, right? So Knicks, I'm gonna throw the Blazers in there. Milwaukee, add a third team. Blazers. Let me all right. Where do we start? Do we just start with the Knicks? Like, who goes to Milwaukee? I got Cat going to the Bucks. Congratulations, Milwaukee. You have a big man center, one of the best big man shooters in the NBA, who has a resume, #1 pick, who will sell you some jerseys, and is a hell of a human. You got Mikal Bridges going to Portland. They get their man, right? They get their man. Now, this is when it gets tricky. I am going to say the Milwaukee Bucks, they said they want a young talent, right? I'm sorry. If the New York Knicks want Giannis, I think the Milwaukee Bucks are going to haggle over Deuce. I am just doing this for an experiment. It's not what I want to do. I'm just doing this for an experiment. Deuce McBride's going to Milwaukee. I don't know, like if Mikal goes to Portland, and I guess you can kind of talk them into, I don't know, but then Deuce, if the Portland Trailblazers want to trade back the Bucks picks, wouldn't they want more than just Mikal? Yeah. So I'm trading Deuce to Portland. And then I'm Holiday to the Knicks. Then the picks that I was talking about, the Milwaukee picks, right? I think they can get 2 of them back, right? Because then you're shedding off the Holiday the contract. You're getting McBride, who's a young talent. So I'm not going to include the picks, but a bunch of picks going back to Milwaukee. Giannis going to the Knicks. Then I am sure they're going to try to get Kyle Kuzma's contract off their books and try to get something for Kuzma. Right? I think a framework will work around something like this. And then the pieces can just fill in. But I think the main pieces will be Giannis, Holiday, Towns, McBride, Bridges. And a bunch of seconds. This is if you want to get this done by next week, because the Knicks have no first round picks they could trade. A bunch of seconds, which I don't think are appealing, which is why if you wait till the summer, you get more to trade. But the intrigue from Milwaukee side is you're saying, why would they just want Cat? They're getting their picks back, right? So they would get, I don't know what the Bucks own, what the Portland Trailblazers own. Swap. Okay, the 2028, they're getting their swap right back. So they traded to the Bucks. They're getting that first round pick back. They would probably get another like 2030, right? That's a valuable pick. That would go back to the Milwaukee Bucks, right? So if you're talking about picks, those are valuable picks that the Bucks would probably want back, right? So Portland gets a young piece in McBride, who's under salary for another year, and they can extend him. They get Mikal Bridges, that, let's face it, is still a valuable piece and is still a wing in this league who's a really good defender and reliable, plays every day. You don't have to worry about injuries with him, right? The Portland Trail, the Milwaukee Bucks, they get Cat and they get those picks back. Whether they want someone else, I don't know. The Knicks, I would say the Knicks, obviously when you're getting the best player in the deal, I think you win. Especially when you're getting the best player in the deal, I think you win the deal. Right? So you're talking about picks. They have a boatload of second round picks that they could trade the Milwaukee Bucks, which then you're looking at a package of a lot of second round picks for the New York Knicks. 2 pick swaps back from Portland to Milwaukee. Right? So that's 7 picks. Right? If the Knicks give up like 5 seconds, and then 2 swaps from Portland to Milwaukee, that's 7. Because I don't think you're getting more than that. So they're getting Cat and they're getting like 7 or 6 picks, 2 of them being their own back. Even then, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, I still do think they would want more. The Blazers. I still do think they will want more. Not the Blazers, the Bucks, excuse me. Can I intrigue you with a Diarra, Milwaukee? Young? They would probably want him. Like, if it's any of the young guys, you would obviously say yeah. Like, you're not going to let Diarra, Daddy, Kolek, Hukporti, any of these guys stop you from getting Giannis. You're not. They're probably going to want one of them or two of them. I don't know if look, again, I'm not a cap expert, but I'm just saying with the Milwaukee Bucks picks that the Portland Trailblazers own, it would go back to Milwaukee. Milwaukee would trade Giannis to New York because Giannis is going to them saying, I want to be a New York Knick. The Jrue Holiday, the Portland Trailblazers get out of that contract. They get younger. Mikal Bridges is 29. He's kind of on their timeline. Portland is a perfect place for him, right? Kind of like Phoenix. Maybe he can get his juice back, be an all-star over there. You can sell him on that. Reliable. You can send him the film in the playoffs that we just saw last year from him. Game 1, Game 2, game-winning plays. And, of course, you get McBride, right? You can sell him on McBride. This is selling high on Miles McBride, by the way. Selling high. Even though I think Deuce has a bright future still, but it'll be something like this. I don't know if this is enough for Milwaukee, though. I don't know. And, of course, I'm going to try it. It's going to fail because I haven't done, like, the nitty-gritty cap stuff for the New York Knicks. But they can't trade more than they take back. So I don't even think the Holiday... Yeah, look. They're taking Giannis at 54 and Holiday at 32 and Mikal at 24. They're going to have to trade someone else if they want this done. The Knicks. Right? They're going to have to trade someone else. What were they short? 54, 32. That's $76 million coming in. Right? $76 million coming in. So they're short. The Knicks are. That's when Yabu. Right? Yabu? Who wants Yabu? Who wants Yabu? Oh, Yabu. Yabba dabba doo. Does that get him? No. But it'll work. It'll be something like that if it was to get done in the next week. I think you're close in terms of money. Right, you have the Yabusele $6 million. You have the Jordan Clarkson $2 million. Because they can't take back more money than they bring in because they're in the first apron team. They are a first apron team, so it'll be a package regarding these players, right? Allah says, get this trade done already. Say Quizzy says giving up McBride hurts, and it didn't even happen yet. Yeah. It's going to be like the Dante effect. It is. But again, you have to ask yourself, am I going to let Deuce McBride stand in the way of me getting Giannis and possibly Jrue Holiday? I can damn near say, look, Holiday, a lot of people think Holiday is already an upgrade over Mikal. It's just his age and his injury history. That's what I'm worried about. And the contract still. That's a bad contract, Holiday. Right? It's a bad contract. If we're being real. Mikal's 29. He's younger. He's a wing. He plays every day. Jrue Holiday and Giannis have won a championship together. And you're pairing them on this current Knicks unit. Then you're still looking at Giannis, Holiday, OG, Brunson, Hart, Mitch as kind of your core. That's your core. That's your core. trading Deuce also allows you to kind of feel confident on extending Mitchell Robinson, because you have a decision to make on McBride as well. Do you extend him? I don't think you can extend him and Mitch, and kind of you're stuck at that point. You're stuck with a really good team that who knows can win an NBA championship if you could extend both of them. So that would be kind of like a package. Then you would have your bench would be like, I don't know if you would even start Hart and bring Mitch off the bench. So maybe you start Hart and have Giannis at the 5. You know, Giannis doesn't really like playing the 5. He likes having a stretch big next to him. Then you would just piece it together. You would just like, that lineup would be so lethal though, with Giannis and Holiday and Anunoby and Brunson and Mitch. Like, I would worry about scoring a little bit, but defensively you improve drastically. You do. Simone says as soon as Mikel's available, the trade will happen. February 1st. Isaiah says people are already saying Leon Rose is in trouble if he doesn't get this done. Are we in the camp already? I'm not. Talk to me after May. That's the camp I'm in. Right? Like if you're Leon Rose and the Knicks, the thing you're hoping for if this doesn't get done is Giannis to stay on the Bucks. You're hoping that no one trades for Giannis. He stays on the Bucks, and you do this in the summer. That's what you're hoping for if this doesn't get done. This Rover says that'd be a terrible lineup. I disagree. But that's what you're hoping for. But we'll see. We'll see, ladies and gentlemen. But this will kind of be like a something along this, like the Portland rumor came out like last week. It'll be something of the framework of this, I would think. Right? I would think. And it's fascinating. You trade it, because then you would look at the Mikal Bridges trade differently. Right? You would look at it differently. Like, oh, Mikal got us Giannis. And we traded 5 firsts for Mikal, but we got his salary to get us Giannis for another team to like him. Right? Then Leon Rose is playing chess at that point. Like, he's thinking 10 steps ahead. Because who would have thought this was the end game if this happens? Here we are thinking that Donovan Mitchell was the player to get. Say Quizzy says, let me give up Brunson for Giannis. I think that works. I don't think that will ever happen. I saw that floating around there. I don't think you could trade Jalen Brunson for Giannis. I don't. Trying to see if I can. We've never seen the Knicks trade out the lot. Trying to see if I can find some more information regarding Giannis. Nothing has come out, so that's the latest, ladies and gentlemen. That is the latest on Giannis. I will be doing a live stream tonight. The New York Knicks play a game tonight versus the Toronto Raptors, so I will be back tonight. Hope to see you guys in the live stream, in the post game, and let's get a win. You know, the Giannis talk is fun. We'll see what transpires, but we shall see. But get Giannis to New York. He wants to be a Knick. Let's get it done. So, Isaiah says, I can see Leon playing 4D chess. So can I. So can I. I can see Leon Rose playing 4D chess. I can see Leon Rose thinking 2 steps ahead. I can see Leon Rose thinking Karl Anthony Towns was the bridge to Giannis because of the contract. Like, if we had Randall and Dante right now, right? Is that, who knows how we would be. Some Knicks fans think we would be a better team today with Randall and Dante on this team. But does that get you Giannis? I don't know. They had Dante in Milwaukee already. But Cat is the name. Cat already had some big moments in the playoffs for us. But that's the guy. He holds a bigger name value. Nettie says, leave the team alone and see what happens. We shall see, Nettie. Appreciate you in the chat. We shall see. I'll be back tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Make sure you sub, like, all the good stuff. I'll see you guys tonight. Peace.